Y'all know who it is. It is that guy, and I am here. One politician versus 25 undecided voters. Now, chat, if you don't know, I am a non-voter. I don't know what the fuck you call him. A regular person. I'm a person that does not vote. I'm a regular human being on this planet. So, and I've just made a video just saying why I don't vote, why I think the election is weird. I don't agree with how things are done necessarily, and I'm willing to change, chat. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to see if there is something out there to change my mind, because I'm open to change. And to say that, hey, your vote actually does matter, it actually does play a huge part in how this country is run, and you should share your opinion. So I'm coming to Jubilee for these answers. We're on Surrounded, so let's just get into it.
Undecided. At the conclusion of this event, I did mark down.
I'm Pete Buttigieg. I'm a father of two, a veteran of the Afghanistan war. I served as mayor of my hometown in Indiana, and now I live in Michigan. And today, I'm surrounded by 25 undecided voters. My first claim is Donald Trump is only running for president for himself. Kamala Harris is running for president to make your life better.
Hate seeing ads? Here's how to get rid of them, or get paid to
Jesus
see them.
Christ,
Do you know how much
dude.
of the content you see on a daily basis are actually...
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Nice meeting you.
Hi. So I agree with you.
Chat, what party do you think he's from? Just by his first prompt. What party do you think he's part of? I don't know. Maybe the Green Party. I don't know.
I think that Trump is very selfish. I don't think he's doing it for the people. He wants to do it for his own personal needs, or not really sure why.
What other president does it for the people? Name another president that does it for the people. Name another president that did it for the people.
But, I do agree Kamala is a prosecutor, so she tries to do it by the book.
What does that have? Dude, this is the problem, bro. I don't understand. What does that have to do with anything? She could just run for her self-interest as well. I don't genuinely feel like a politician ever runs for their own, for the people, or whatever things you want to use. I don't feel like that is the case. I feel like both are running for their own self-interest. It's just like, whose self-interest is going to be less of a detriment, you know what I'm saying, to the other people around them.
She wants to bring equality, and she wants to do it for others. It's not really about her. So
it's not. Chat, she's a hero, bro. She's a hero. She's wearing a cape. She didn't want to become president, bro, but the people said, Kamala, you need to step up, bro. You need to start running for president, because you can't do it for yourself, man. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for us. Truly, an angel sent by the God.
With Kamala, she's really good, but there's things that have happened in the U.S. that it's like bringing really big conversations due to the fact of some people not agreeing with things that she's allowed. I feel like there's a different way on how we can do things. Just because the U.S. is in debt, 35.7 trillion.
I do not give a fuck about the U.S. debt, bro. I do not give a fuck about the U.S. debt. And how the fuck are you going to pay back 35.8 trillion in 4 years? You would have to run the craziest fucking parlays the world has ever seen, bro. The parlay game would have to be absolutely insane. You will have to pump and dump like no one has ever pumped and dumped before. Dude, Bitcoin, you would have to run hella plays on crypto. You would have to do stupid shit with NFTs. You would have to bring all that shit back, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. United States needs to run their own course and have every country pay like fucking $5 million a month to get their how to get rich type shit.
I just feel like the way that we make decisions when it comes to money and economy, every American in the U.S. should agree with. Sometimes decisions are made.
I don't feel like everyone should agree with, because that's an impossibility. That's an impossibility. I feel like if, I don't know, like a good chunk agree, but then again, we like what how much say does a president even have in economic policies? We have a bank that's completely, well, quote unquote, completely separate from wherever the fuck the government is.
And money is being spread out in different countries or in different ways, and the people from the U.S., we're still in debt. We're still struggling. We're still paying those taxes. So I just feel like we should meet each other in the middle somewhere, because our opinion really matters. With Trump, though, he never cared. So
He never cared, bro. He never cared. Trump never cared, bro. That man only went and, like, I don't know, bro.
So I feel like kind of what I'm hearing you say is you agree that Trump is in it for himself and that she's in it to make things better.
Yep.
But that still might not decide how an election ought to go because of frustration about how things are right now.
Exactly.
Is that fair?
I can't see how this was an opposing opinion. I don't understand.
I think part of what I would say, I don't disagree that we got a lot of problems right now.
Yep.
Right? I think part of what I would say is that every election then is about what happens next, right?
Yes.
And it's not that anybody's got an easy fix for some of the problems you just named. They're huge problems. That's why they're still there. Otherwise, somebody would have fixed them.
Yep.
But the case I want to make is that she's going to be better able to address them, even if there's.
I feel like we should just have a band for band competition, and whoever gets the most bands should become president. I mean, if we're gonna run by oligarchy, we might as well have the richest person be president.
Magic wand on some of this stuff, because she cares more, and because she has more specific ideas that I think are going to help. You take the debt. Let's be honest. The debt has grown under Democratic presidents and under Republican.
How many votes do you need to have? Like 15?
The biggest reason the debt grew under Donald Trump was that he was using the debt to pay for tax cuts for the rich. And that's different.
Which president hasn't used the debt to pay for tax cuts for the rich, dude? What presidency were the rich ever suffering under? You know what I'm saying? They were like, oh my gosh, this person's killing us. Like, really, bro? I don't even know, bro. Maybe there's somebody, but I don't know.
Something that's the equivalent.
They were
of
really
taking out a loan
struggling.
for a business or a mortgage, which is what I
guarantee if the rich struggle, we all struggle 20 times harder.
Investment, right? So I think the most important thing now is, okay, yeah, nobody's saying everything's perfect, far from it, but then what? Like, what happens next, right? And that's where I feel like the choice is so clear right now.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
That's right, chat. That's right. The choice is very clear, bro. As you can see, your vote really does matter, chat.
Yes.
I feel like it would be better if the person didn't come with their own prompts for people to respond to, but rather these people had questions they could ask this person on the chair. Because this person is supposed to be like the expert, quote unquote, the expert on whatever the fuck they're talking about. So, damn, was my mic not plugged in? So I feel like it should be hold on, chat. Let me make sure my mic was plugged in. Cause this is insane. Insane realization not to have. Twitch. Blah blah blah. Bro, technical issues, bro. Things that you won't see unless you look at them again. Won't see unless you look at them again. Won't see unless Oh God, I don't want to hear my voice. I don't know if you heard all that, but it is what it is. So, what was I talking about?
If someone else wants an opinion,
Oh yeah, I feel like people in this 25 should ask him the question instead of him making the prompt for everyone to then like combat or respond to. Because this person is supposed to be like the expert, and he could just make softball questions or like questions that he knows he's gonna like easily have a solution towards.
Thank you.
Wiping your ass is bad for the election.
Sailor, nice to meet you. So, you said that you said the claim that Kamala's...
Sailor? Bro, y'all come up with some crazy ass names for your kids. Sailor? I don't think she's ever been on a boat, bro. I don't think she's ever been on a boat, so I'm kind of confused. Where was this name derived from?
running because she wants to make things better, and Donald Trump says that he's just running because he is running for himself. I think anybody that's in politics is doing it for themselves, if we're being honest.
Whoa! 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 Some new ideas? Hell no! Hell no! Get her up out of here, bruh. Get her up out of here.
Anybody that's in government, anybody who's doing this, they have a background where they're passionate about something. But if we're being real, if you're running for president and you've been in politics this long, it is really truly about yourself. The issue
Can I
that
challenge that, though?
yeah,
I
sure.
mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody who's running for president is without ambition.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think that means that your core motivation is that it's about you. I think that people, like you said, get into politics or public service out of idealistic reasons, you hope,
Yeah.
at least some of the time. But I think there's two very different paths in the two different candidates, right? So you look at him, this is obviously not somebody who, felt motivated to join the school board in his local community,
Yeah.
wound up running for mayor, and then ran for president. This is somebody
The school board? Who gives a fuck about school boards, bro?
who ran for president, in my view, basically as a branding exercise, and then won. With her, she did
Yeah.
come up as a line prosecutor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And served as a prosecutor, served as AG, served as a senator, served as VP. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anybody in politics, there's ego there, right?
Yeah.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I really feel that the things she's putting forward are more about solving our problems than the things he's putting forward.
Yeah, so I will say,
I feel like all politicians just put out shit and just talk shit and then don't actually do the things they're saying. Even people are like, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump because he's going to build that wall and he's going to have Mexico pay for it. And what fucking delusional world were you thinking both of those things are going to happen? What the absolute unfathomable world? Absolute, you must live in fucking Alice in the Wonderland. Dorothy, you need to click your shoes 3 times and jump back into reality. That shit was never going to happen. But people ate it up because it sounds tasty when it hits their earbuds. You know what I'm saying? It sounds delectable on the ears. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe anything. I don't believe when people just talk shit, it means anything until you actually do something.
I'm not someone who would vote for Trump. I'm actually third party.
I see.
So Jill Stein, for example, I'm a hardcore environmentalist, conservationist. I'm an amateur entomologist, love bugs, but very big into the environment. I was a part of the Climate Corps in Michigan, so I know a lot about the environment. And I understand that Kamala has a lot of initiatives that she's put forth. I mean, during the Biden-Harris administration, you had the passing of the American Climate Corps, which is fantastic because I was a part of that.
Oh, it's great.
However,
you served in that?
yes, I did.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So, but the problem that I see is I feel like I'm very against the two-party system. It's because I used to be a part of it. I was a hardcore Democrat for a very long time. I worked on Alyssa Slotkin's campaign. I did a bunch of work. So I have lost a lot of faith in our two-party system, and I want to see something different. Because when we have something where it's insanity, you have the same thing over and over and over again.
But here's what I want to try to convince you of,
Sure.
right? Yes, neither party is perfect. You've probably been let down by your party from time to time.
Yes.
All of us have. However, one of two things is about to happen, right? Jill Stein is not going to become president of the United States. Donald Trump is, or Kamala Harris is, right? And all of the things from an environmental perspective that were just achieved, these are not little differences between center left and center right, right? You got one set that's saying climate change is a hoax, it's not even a thing.
Yeah, I'm
And the
not
other
I'm
side
not
that-
in support of Trump at all.
Right,
This
right.
is completely
What I'm
against
saying is
Kamala.
if he gets
and
back
Jill.
in, then the Inflation Reduction Act will be demolished.
That is
right.
right.
So every piece of progress, and if you're saying it's not enough, there's more to do, I'm not totally disagreeing.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we've come this far. Like we have right here in Michigan, right? We have factories rising out of the ground making EV batteries that are going to power a different kind of future.
But what it's
Or it
always
could be
talking about
reversed.
EVs and solar panels. What are we doing to protect our lakes in Michigan? We have 22% of the world's fresh
Yes.
water. We have Pipeline 5.
For real? Yo, what is that? Aquafina, get on that, bro. Actually, put that shit in a bottle.
Going through the Straits of the Mackinac Island, under Mackinac Bridge, underneath the bridge,
Okay, but
in
on
the
that,
water.
right? Again, like she's going to enforce the Clean Water Act. He's going to tear it up. Look at what he did to the EPA the first time, and that's when there
But
was
this
still
is the
some
thing, you
some
keep
guardrails.
mentioning stuff about Trump, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm in between Jill and Kamala. And this is the thing. Jill is fantastic. She's an activist. She has been doing this for years. And I understand Kamala has also gone against BP when it comes to, anything like that. But I just have a feeling that I would rather change up. I want to change up the situation that we have in America. If you look at Norman Rockwell's painting, it's called The Great Debate. That was 40 plus years ago. It's the same thing that's happening now. 40 years ago, same thing, and we're doing the same
Hold on,
thing
chat.
now.
I'm gonna
Why-
look it up. The Great Debate painting. Just throwing too many facts at me. I can't. My brain is trying to consume it all. Trying to get all the references. You know what I'm saying? Just slinging them. Great Debate. I like this person. The last person was just, I don't know, an industry plant, bro. The Great Debate. The Great Debate, Evolution and Astronomy Debate, and the debate over Great Debate painting. Great Debate painting. Okay. So if you don't know, it's like a family that has like the dad, he's like pointing at one politician on the newspaper. The mom has the other politician on the newspaper, but she's like crossed her arms, and then the kids left there crying, So I guess it's just like it's tearing the family apart, about politics. And the kid is like, I don't understand any of this shit, bro.
Why do we want to continue the system and not try to change it up for third party?
But do you really feel like nothing's gotten better in 40 years? I get that everything we want to have happen hasn't happened. So
Yeah, but
surely things have gotten better.
I don't want history to repeat itself.
For sure.
Thank you.
Dude, this is the exact reason why I don't vote, bro. It is a monopoly. You have a monopoly on politics. You have two parties that go head to head. Third parties don't stand a chance in hell of actually winning, because you have fandoms and fanboys running over to these two parties, trying to, going thick and thin through them, And I feel like that's just not how things should be run. Like I said before, dude, schools had the most democratic system ever, bro. School politics was the most democratic. There was no parties. There was just people and whatever they had to say. And the president of the school or president of the class, their power was limited. But it didn't matter, bro. Your vote was actually directly tied to who would win. There was no other lobbying force. The chess club wasn't paying out for somebody else's lobbying. There wasn't any other people influenced or like getting manipulated in ways by financial gain from like boosting up one person or boosting up another. It was just equal, bro. Everyone was just in it. Everyone was in it for themselves, but it wasn't about that, bro. It was just about the whole system in itself was fairer than it is right now.
Sorry. How you doing? Same here.
So I want to play devil's advocate a little bit, just
right.
poke or
Nathan leaning
tag your
Trump.
brain a little bit. When you are looking at things such as, I believe, multiple assassination attempts on Donald Trump, looking at things where he's walked into a position where he has experienced really awful media conversation about him, putting him in horrible lights, comparing him to Hitler, et cetera, justified or not, either way it's happening. And I would say things more on that line when I would say he's made his life harder by running not only once, but losing and then running again. He's been in politics for multiple years now. How do you look at that?
As much years as you can be.
When I would say he's made his life a lot more difficult. I mean, he's a billionaire. He could be sitting up playing golf.
So, yeah, no, look, I've heard this argument. Here's what I'd say. First of all, he's made a lot of money off of the presidential campaign. He hasn't just made money by being in business. Matter of fact, if you took the money he inherited and just...
According to Forbes FEC filings, Trump's campaign supporting committees have transferred 7.1 million of his business, including 5.9 for the plane, 900,000 to Mar-a-Lago for rentals and catering. Dude, let me get in the catering business. Holy shit.
So most of what he's done in his business career has been...
According to Forbes, 2018, Trump outperformed stock market by $1 billion.
Destroying shareholder value.
Holy shit.
But leaving that aside, once he became president, there was a ton of self-dealing going on, right? Folks staying at his hotels who might have had interests before the government.
Both foreign and domestic officials at Trump's D.C. hotel during his presidency when conducting official business with him. Oh, wow, for real?
Members of his family
crazy.
Cutting deals, including overseas.
I'm not reading all of this, chat. You can read.
To cut if they weren't related to the President of the United States. Now, I get what you're saying, that anybody who gets into public service, anybody who puts their name on the line, anybody who runs for president, takes on a lot of negativity that comes with that. At a different level, I've experienced the negativity of being in public service. My husband and I worry sometimes about our family just because we're out there, and nobody should have to experience that. And one thing we should be able unequivocally to agree on is that nobody should ever accept political violence, no matter who it's directed at and no matter why, right? It is categorically unacceptable, wrong, and disgusting for there to have been an attempt on the life of any political candidate, including him, right? I still think, though, that he didn't do this because he woke up and thought, I'm going to make some sacrifices to help other people, and that's why I'm going to run for president. I just don't believe that. But either way, what I do know... What's that?
Can I ask why I don't believe that?
Because I've never seen him express much interest or concern for others. Like, recently he got a question about childcare. He went on this, 2 or 3 minute rant, and the one thing he didn't mention was childcare. Because I don't think he thinks about it that much. It's other people's problems, right? He's interested in his own... mostly his own past. This whole thing about retribution and revenge.
Nothing Bunk Cakes now delivers cakes. Cakes for you. Cakes for the fam. Cakes for mom because she's...
I don't know.
Yo, chat. If any political party want to hit me up, I do catering. It's going to have to be around 900,000, bro. Because it's do you want to win or do you want to lose? Those are the options I'm giving you. I'm not trying to do no fear mongering, but without my catering company, you're bound for failure. You know, how are you gonna run and you don't got the fuel to run? You know what I'm saying? So let me be that fuel and give you that motivation. And plus, I can speak. You know what I'm saying, to the community. I'm in tune with the community. I went to school. I've been around people. I shop at your local Walmart. I've seen the common man. And I can tell his plight, and his plight is to give me $900,000.
I've never been in a room with him, and I've at least met most prominent Republicans in the Senate because of my job. I will admit that I don't know him personally, but a lot of people I do who do know him say that he's in it for himself, including his own chief of staff. It's not like some intern, right? His own chief of staff has some of the most blistering and disturbing things to say about him, but also. I don't know him. I do know her. Okay. And it says a lot, I think, about somebody if you come to respect and admire somebody while you're competing against each other. I got to know her when 20 of us were running for president. We were all campaigning, jostling, each of us trying to get the edge. And
if I have one contention with what you're saying, that sparks a thought in me is, do you think you have a little bit of an innate bias because you know her well, or somewhat well?
Well, I'm definitely on her side, obviously, right? That's why I'm here. Yeah. But there are people in my party who I don't think of as kind of the ideal public servant, right? Just because we're in the same... don't get me in trouble.
I'm kidding.
Well, I say, just because you're a Democrat, that doesn't mean I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
But she's somebody who, when I see her, when I've been in meetings with her, the questions she's usually asking are, what's this going to mean to people? For example, she's the kind of person who would would say, here's what I'm leaning toward doing. Tell me the best argument against doing that. And I just can't picture him ever doing that. And that's what I want, especially with some of these fierce, wicked challenges coming our way as a country. Her mentality is what I would want to see in the Situation Room, in the Oval Office, in just behind the mic talking to the American people about what to do next.
I think as an average American voter, I personally have a lot of issue seeing those things that you are seeing as someone who maybe knows her better than, of course, the average American, because I see interviews or different questions that she has, and I feel like I've seen this called word salad a little bit. I don't feel like I can get an impression of what she really is believing, and that makes it really difficult for me to view her beliefs and what she would enact as her policies and be like, yeah, I back that. Because I, honest to God, don't know what they are.
Well, let me help with that. All right. So a big part of her focus is making sure that life in America is more affordable. That's why she's pushing for a child tax credit. It's why she wants the tax code to be fair versus his tax cuts for the rich plan. He did it before, so pretty confident he's going to do it again. On issues like climate, which we've already talked about a little bit this morning, she's somebody who wants to make sure that we expand the work we've done to deal with carbon pollution. On access to abortion, she wants to make sure that women have that right restored, right? He took it away. She wants to bring it back through legislation.
I think...
Nice talking to you. Nice.
Nice to jump on. So, as someone who says they know Kamala's character, probably more than any of us here, my sort of criticism of the campaign thus far, and it's kind of due to the circumstance of Biden dropping out so soon next to the race. I don't think I've been convinced enough by the campaign. I don't think I've had, like they've said, word salad, stuff like that. In terms of policy, I'm not really too sure. And I can say this is not just me, because the polling numbers didn't really change after the debate. I don't think either candidate did a good job at the debate. I think it was one of the worst debates we've ever watched. It was ugly. So just in your eyes, what...
So I feel differently. Maybe that's to be expected. I felt like she won the debate for this reason. I felt he was mostly talking about himself or people he wanted to demonize, right? The whole thing like they're eating cats or whatever, right? I mean, that was his big thing. And she was talking about what she would do to solve problems. Now, look, with all of the glare of a presidential campaign, it is hard for somebody's like full character to come through. And it's hard to get that out in some of these formats. But I actually thought the debate, obviously, it hit you a little differently. But I thought the debate, you could really tell the difference between what he cares about, mainly him, and what she cares about, which is the stuff she wants to do. Her whole point about how he's going to come in with an enemies list, she's going to come in with a to-do list, right?
Yeah,
is that like somewhat convincing to you?
Yeah, that's fair. I would probably never vote for Trump. It would be more like she said between Kamala and a third party.
Please, because a big part of what we're trying to do is reach out to folks who aren't going to vote for him, but they're deciding whether or not to vote. And what I want voters like you to hear is anything but a vote for her works out to being a vote for him right now.
Yeah.
Because this is a swing state. You live in Michigan, right?
Yep.
In a few days, either it's going to be him or it's going to be her. And it could come down to like a couple votes per precinct, and one of those might be you.
It could be. I just, as a principal rule, don't really agree with the two-party system, and I would do anything to completely demolish it. I think if the Founding Fathers saw what we had today, they would riot with their muskets out of the grave.
I mean, they didn't want parties. It's true, right? Like you read a lot of the early statements of the founders, and they were like, watch out for this.
Of course.
And here we are.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good talking to you.
Jubilee's mission is to be a home for empathy and human connection. As such, we've been in touch with members from both political parties and have standing invitations to Vice President Harris, President Trump, and other political representatives. If you're a notable figure and would like to participate in Surrounded, please contact us using the form below.
My next claim is the economy, especially here in the industrial Midwest, will be better off under Kamala Harris.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This shit is so boring, bro. This shit is so boring. It's and I don't like how it's just like instead of, because most, like I've noticed this also with politics, most of them are just focused on demonizing the other one or showing, like, making sure the other one looks like, you know, looks worse. Like, dude, it's like they walk around, they're like, oh, I'm a murderer, right? I've killed a person. But this person is a serial killer. He has killed multiple people. Are you really going to trust a serial killer? I killed one. We all make mistakes. I killed one person. This person repeatedly goes out to kill people. And the serial killer's like, well, I'm dedicated. I'm a dedicated person. When I see something, when I'm on something, I do it. This person, they don't even have to drive to kill again. How are you going to vote for somebody that's not willing to kill for you? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, what the fuck am I even voting? What the fuck are you guys talking about? What am I even voting for? I'm voting between a murderer and a serial killer. I'm not doing this. And then people are like, bruh, you don't vote between murderer and a serial killer? Bruh, isn't the answer obvious, bruh? Isn't the answer obvious, bruh? Come on. Like, the serial killer, the murderer. I'm like, who gives a fuck, bro?
It's time to maximize your garage with custom flooring, cabinets, and slat wall installation from Garage Experts of Wichita. Our trained professionals can transform your garage.
Chat, right now I'm watching a shrew eat a grasshopper, bro. And now he's eating a centipede. This is a hungry ass shrew.
We hear a lot about.
And now he's sleeping in
Vice President Harris's.
Chat, he's sleeping inside of a dang, what is it? A snail, a snail shell. And now they can swim? Dude, what the fuck is up with these rats, bro?
Plan for her economy, and it has to do with housing, and it has to do with tax credits, but we don't hear.
Chat, the one thing I really don't give a shit about is the fucking economy. I absolutely do not give a fuck about the economy. I care about my economy, my wallet, bro. I'm in it for myself. I do not care about whether the economy is viable or whatever the fuck. How much is debt? We have so much billions of trillions of dollars in debt. Okay. What are you gonna do? Fucking run a parlay on that shit? You're cooked. That shit is not gonna help. You might be able to help it a smidge that no one will ever notice in 4 years, but not enough for people to be like, oh my gosh. Unless you're somehow the greatest fucking gambler we have ever seen in our entire lives. You need to beat the casino, bro.
My next claim is Americans will have more rights and freedoms under a Harris-Walz administration.
I truly do not care. What freedoms are you speaking of?
Grace, good night.
Abortion?
Frankly, I'm shocked that you would make that claim. I think I would love to know what the basis of that is, some specific examples.
Abortion.
Starting with freedom of speech.
Sure.
If you could.
Starting with freedom of speech? What do you want me to start with? Like, oh my gosh, dude. It's abortion, bro. It's obvious.
So Donald Trump has said that he wants to revoke the licenses of television networks that have broadcast coverage that he disagrees with. I can't think of a more direct attack on the freedom of speech than a government official.
He won't be able to do that, bro.
Government official.
I truly do not care if he says it.
Punish a television.
He won't do it, bro.
Because of their journalism.
He's just talking shit.
So that's how I feel about free speech. There's also more personal rights. A woman's right to choose, my right to have this ring on my finger, that I feel are much more secure if she's in charge than if he's in charge.
And the evidence you have of Donald Trump being against gay marriage or wanting to roll back protections for gay folks to be married is what exactly?
The evidence is that he ran for president with a platform that specifically said in black and white that they were against marriage equality.
And
for decades, Donald Trump has shifted in his stance on gay marriage. Okay, so he's like flip-flopping. In 2020, his wife said he supports it and respects for Marriage Act. So he supports it. He's whatever gets him the vote, which is whatever the fuck. Who cares? Every politician is like that. I would be like that.
So they've kind of rubbed that out of the platform since the last time he ran for president. But the people he put on the court are contributing to a majority that already took away a woman's right to choose and doesn't seem very interested in protecting my right to marry, nor did he do anything to help get that legislation passed. When
Ruth
the Biden
Bader
Harris
Ginsburg didn't think that Roe v. Wade was the appropriate statute on which to be.
Okay, who gives a fuck? What is she? The president for women? You know what I'm saying? Who gives a actual fuck? The late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, jeez, I didn't know her name was that long, criticized Roe, preferring the abortion rights to be secured through state legislatures and courts. She disagreed with Roe's legal basis and describes it as more of a doctor's right to practice rather than a woman's right to choose. I feel like a doctor, when it comes to practicing on your patients, I feel like it has to be under the patient's right to choose whether or not what gets done. Like a doctor, you're not like baking a cake, bro. It's not like you're doing surgery and shit. Like, I don't know. If you have some discrepancies of doing medical operations, you probably shouldn't be a fucking doctor.
Reproductive freedom.
Should
and
be
Obama
I don't know.
campaigned in 2007. There was a bill introduced to the 110th Congress, H.R. 1964, the Freedom of Choice Act. He campaigned. The first thing I'm going to do as president is sign that bill. Once he was elected, I quote, "Not my highest legislative priority. I don't know why I should actually trust Democrats to enshrine reproductive rights as national law, because they had the opportunity so many times over the past decades. Most recently, in 2009, 2010, they didn't do it. Kamala's coming here and campaigning in Michigan on reproductive freedom. Guess what? It's part of our state constitution. Like, that's
Right.
manipulation of voters.
Well, I don't think that's manipulation. Look, the whole point of a national right, I live in Michigan, right? But if I take my kids with my husband to their first ever Notre Dame game and I cross the state line, obviously I'm talking about marriage equality, not reproductive freedom here, but just as an illustration of why a national right is important. I don't want my marriage to evaporate the moment I cross the Michigan-Indiana state line. What she's talking about is that a national right should be national. It's true, you have great leaders here in Michigan who have taken action at the state level to protect reproductive rights, but since when does civil rights disappear at state lines? And how is it pro-freedom to take away a national protection and say, well, if some state wants to take away this freedom, have at it? We went through this as a country with the civil rights era. We're definitely going through this right now on something like choice, where your rights in Alabama are different than they are in Michigan, right?
I do want to circle back to something you said about the number one thing you have as evidence for Donald Trump being against free speech is that he wants to revoke these licenses for campaign, like coverage he doesn't agree with. To what extent is it untrue coverage?
I think the whole idea of free speech is that people can go on a network and air opinions that you disagree with.
What about social media? Because the Harris Waltz campaign wants to make it illegal to put misinformation or malinformation on social media.
Well, that's not true.
That's what he said, and that's what she said.
At best, that's an extreme simplification, and it's not really true. I mean, look. Nobody has made.
What did she say?
That's not true.
I'm almost done. Kamala Harris said on social media, tweeting, "If the act as a megaphone for misinformation, we are going to hold you accountable as a community."
What he said, and that's what she said.
What did who say?
Go on a network.
True coverage.
I think the
campaign, like coverage he doesn't agree with. To what extent is it untrue coverage?
I think the whole idea of free speech is that people can go on a network and air opinions that you disagree with.
What about social media? Because the Harris Waltz campaign wants to make it illegal to put misinformation or malinformation on social media.
Well, that's not true.
Kamala Harris said on social media platform in 2019, "If the act as a megaphone for misinformation, we're going to hold you accountable as a community."
That's what she said.
At best,
that's what she said.
Simplification, and it's not really true. I mean, look, nobody has made more statements about being willing to use the powers of government to shut down people who disagree with them than Donald Trump. And you think it's okay to shut down the license of a TV station?
I didn't say that.
Okay, I thought that was implied in your question when you said, "What if it's untrue information that they're broadcasting?"
Well, I'm just asking. He says a lot of off the wall things that certainly, I'm not, and I don't stand behind a lot of what he says, but just if he's angry about coverage that is manipulative towards people, that happens a lot. I'd like to,
The whole idea of free speech is that the government doesn't get to decide.
Certainly, but then you have...
And Donald Trump doesn't get to decide.
Certainly, but I don't want Kamala Harris also to decide.
And neither does she, right? That's the point.
But
She's not going to threaten the licenses of stations that cover her unfavorably.
But they
She never
threaten
has. He
the
has.
Section 30, whatever it is, for social media.
Not based on unfavorable political coverage. Now
Yeah,
there is
that's what
there
the
is an
Twitter
idea
files
there is an
were.
idea that social media companies need to be more accountable for their choices, especially when you look at how they're harming women and girls, for example, by what goes out on Instagram. Right? But that's not the same as a free speech debate.
Attention all internet users. Stop seeing ads for free when you can get paid to see them. Do you know how much of the content you see on a daily basis are actually
Hey
ads?
man,
That's
that
an
was a
ad.
good
That's an
taste
ad.
to see
Yep,
somebody
all ads.
different,
That's
you
why Pi
know,
will transform the
somebody different talk about whatever the fuck she was talking about, how Trump is securing free speech and how Kamala is gonna take it away by not allowing you to shitpost, I guess. But my hobby is spreading misinformation. So I'm gonna skip over this. Oh, what is he? Let me see what affiliation he has. Maybe he's Trump leaning. Maybe he's a third party.
All right, so I
leaning
definitely
Harris.
do agree.
I don't give a fuck, dude. It's just gonna become a glaze over Harris. A glaze party. What's the next thing, bro? The last topics were I said they were bad, but they're actually pretty good on my last video, which is like an hour. But the last topics were pretty good.
Right. It went up when he was in
Over a convicted criminal. I don't give a fuck, dude. You know, as a criminal, a person that got caught doing a crime. We all dabble a little bit. We don't get caught. I don't get caught, at least.
Consider is that one of two things will happen, and that in a state where it's this close, and you all are kind of in the center of the political universe as Michigan voters, if you want to prevent the bad outcomes and deliver the good ones. I hope you've heard from what I've presented that I'm not just here talking about what I believe in blocking, but what I believe in building. That we will have a better country. I'm not saying it's perfect. None of us is perfect. But that we will have cleaner water and safer communities. And one more thing we didn't get to talk about as much, but I think might matter to a lot of folks, definitely a lot of undecided folks, actually get politics out of our face just a little bit so we can have like maybe a normal Republican Party to debate issues on a normal basis with the Democratic Party, and maybe more parties emerge. But just to not have politics punching us in the face all the time, every time you look at Instagram or the news.
That'll never happen. That'll never happen. Oh, man. Politics is like a dick pic that we all get sent every 4 years. Unsolicited dick pic. We just gotta take it, bro. We gotta take it. Every 4 years, we gotta take this big old slang up in our face.
I think that also is something we could achieve, but
no one likes it.
And if
or
you're
at least no one
skeptical,
claims to like it.
And if you're willing to give her a chance, I'm urging you not just to withhold your vote.
I don't like it.
But to use your power to make sure that she becomes the next president of the United States.
And I'll write down who they'll be voting for in the upcoming. We'll write down? Can I just say no one? Chat, if you want to know who I would vote for, which third party I'm voting for, it's between two people. It is between Mohammed VI, the King of Morocco, or it is between the current, His Excellency Naruhito, the Emperor of Japan, you know. So I'm either going to vote for Mohammed VI of Morocco or Naruhito, the Emperor of Japan. Because I'm so kawaii, that's why. I'm just kawaii like that.
Before hearing Pete speak today, I was going to abstain from voting. He did give me some clarity and answer some questions that I had.
I am leaning more
Batty, I'll vote for whoever you're gonna vote for.
towards voting now, but it's more because of the keeping the other.
But if she has a boyfriend, I'm not voting for anybody, bro. That's my only condition. That is my only condition. She cannot have a boyfriend, no one to talk to, bruh. Like, if she's a baddie, I'm gonna vote for whoever she says.
The guy out. I can't write down my grievances on the ballot anymore and submit that because it's not gonna work this time. That's
When did it ever work? Anytime.
Unfortunately how it is.
My plan moving forward, just this next week, is to just try to educate myself as much as I can on the particular issues that both parties are raising. And hopefully by next Tuesday, I feel sound in my judgment.
I still want to vote. I still want to contribute. I just don't know if I want to contribute to the Democrats or the Republicans at this point.
After
I'll
hearing
vote for
Pete
whoever
Buttigieg
you're voting for,
speak
too.
To us this morning, he convinced me slightly that a vote being abstained is a vote for Trump. I think I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
My original vote was for Trump.
I don't care.
But now I'm leaning towards third party. I had a really productive conversation with the older gentleman next to me. He was a lifelong Republican, and he's not even going to vote for him.
I do not care.
Before speaking to Pete or being here, I was definitely undecided. Through other conversations here, I feel not voting is definitely wasting a vote. And too many people before me, made it, sacrifice so I could vote.
It is important.
Who gives a fuck, dude? Who gives a fuck? You think because you went and sacrificed yourself, I gotta do shit for you now? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Don't do that. Don't do things in the aspect of me doing things for you.
However, I don't think
That's
I can
not a
in
favor.
good
That's
conscience
fucking
cast a vote without feeling very confident in the one for whom I'm voting.
At the conclusion of this event, I did mark down Trump
I'm
as a
voting
selection. It's not a vote necessarily for Trump.
I'm voting
It
against this
is,
water.
I think, a commitment to vote.
I decided to vote for Harris because of personal rights. As a woman,
That's what
I
you get,
need
water.
rights to protect me.
You
and
choke
also
me,
my
I drink
children,
you.
My grandchildren.
Major change doesn't come about when you do the same thing over and over and over again. So I want to see a drastic change, especially when it comes, like I said, to the environment. Jill Stein is going to do that.
Before hearing Pete speak today, I was pretty undecided. I wasn't going to vote at all, actually, but after hearing him, I feel like I'm going to vote for Harris. Crime is going down. I expect it to continue to go down with her. Not
with me around, buddy. I'm on. Not with me around. Oh, that was it? That was the end? We win again, baby. We win again. Yes. Yes. Yes, queen. Yes. Bro, they only show the people voting for damn Harris and third party, bro. And like one person voting saying no. They didn't show anybody saying leaning for Trump. That is fucking insane. That is fucking insane. But them be the politics, bro. They wanted to make it seem like everybody and their mama was voting for Harris. They wanted to make it seem like everybody and their mama was voting. Like it was he switched. He had everybody confused. He done switched the whole room. That is insane editing. You had everybody and their mama vote. You thought everybody and their mama was gonna vote for Harris. You thought everybody and their mama was gonna vote for Harris. But and they had like two people learning third party, so you're thinking like it's between third party and Harris, and it is actually between third party and Harris. Trump is number 4 people. They didn't even show those 4 people. They didn't show one of the 4 people. And leading no, come on, bro. We win again. Come on, bro. A vote for no is a vote for. I want to live my life how I want to live my fucking life, bro. Who cares? All this politicking, bro. All this politicking, bro. Should be open to this kind of real town hall. More effective than anything I've seen in television. Dude, this was so fucking manipulated. It's insane, bro. is actually fucking insane. I didn't see anybody. Why didn't they interview nobody leaning towards Trump? Chat, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Harris supporter. But I would like fairness. I would like to be like, okay, maybe it's between these three. Leaning no? Well, you don't really need to interview a person leaning no because, like, who gives a fuck? You know, you're not doing anything.